Beer is an alcoholic beverage said to be produced mainly with barley, which is always present, along with other items like hop, wheat maize, rice oats, water, and yeast. That brings us to the pertinent question of today: how is our favorite beer made? Of a truth, it's quite a journey from grain to glass. Beer, in its myriad forms, has been a staple in human culture for thousands of years. From the ancient Sumerians who recorded recipes on stone tablets, to the monks of the Middle Ages perfecting the brewing process, to the craft beer revolution of today, this amber nectar has certainly made its mark on history. At its core, beer is a testament to the magic of chemistry, a delightful fusion of just 4 basic ingredients: water, malted grains, which are usually barley, hops for that distinctive bitter twist, and yeast, the invisible workers behind the scenes. Each ingredient plays a crucial role in shaping the character, flavor, and strength of the beer. So today we'll explore how these simple ingredients transform into the delightful brew that fills your mug. That delight that mesmerized people at parties, functions, occasions, etc. The first step in beer making is called malting. Imagine grains, typically barley, being soaked in water. This isn't a quick dip, but a full-on spa day for our little grains. They're allowed to luxuriate, soak up the water, and in time, they start to germinate. This germination is crucial as it's the catalyst that begins to transform the grain starches into sugars. Now you might be thinking, why sugars? Well, these sugars are the main event for our yeast, which will come into play later in the fermentation process. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. After the grains have germinated, they're then dried in a kiln. This halts the germination process and locks in those all-important sugars. The result? We have malted grains loaded with sugars, ready to be the star of our beer brewing show. Surprising, isn't it? With malting, our grains are primed and ready for the next step: mashing. Now it's time to mash the malted grains. This is where the magic really starts to happen. The malted grains are introduced to hot water, sparking a dance of chemistry and transformation. This hot water bath, typically around 150 degrees Fahrenheit, is what coaxes the sugars out of the malted grains. You see, these grains are full of starches, and when exposed to this heat, they convert into fermentable sugars. This is the sweet nectar that yeast will later feast upon to create alcohol. The mixture of water and grains, now known as the mash, is then allowed to rest. This mash rest is a crucial part of the process, giving the enzymes in the malted grains enough time to work their magic. Once the mash rest is complete, the mash is strained, separating the grain from the liquid. This liquid, now referred to as wort, is a sweet concoction ready to be transformed. This sweet liquid wort is now ready for the next phase of brewing: boiling. Boiling is where we add some flavor to our brew. After the mashing process, we move on to the boiling phase. This is where the magic really begins to unfold. We take the wort, which is the liquid extracted during the mashing process, and we bring it to a boil. But boiling isn't just about heating up the wort. It's an essential step that serves a couple of vital functions. First and foremost, it sterilizes the wort, ensuring no unwanted bacteria can spoil our beer. But more excitingly, boiling is when we add hops to the brew. Hops are flowers that contribute to the beer's taste and aroma, and they're what gives beer its distinct bitterness. We carefully measure and add the hops at different stages of the boil. Some hops are added early for bitterness, some later for aroma. After the boil, the wort is rapidly cooled, stopping any further hop extraction. With our wort boiled and cooled, we're ready for the magic of fermentation. In fermentation, yeast comes into play. This unassuming microorganism is a beer brewer's best friend, and here's why. Once we've cooled down our wort, we introduce our yeast. The yeast, you see, has a very important job. It dives right into the wort and starts munching away on the sugars we've so carefully extracted during the mashing process. This feasting frenzy is more than just a sweet tooth satisfaction for our yeasty friends. As they consume the sugars, they produce 2 vital byproducts: alcohol and carbon dioxide. Yes, the yeast is responsible for giving our beer its boozy kick and those delightful fizzy bubbles. This process isn't a quick one, mind you. It can take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks for the fermentation to fully take place. Patience, as they say, is a virtue, especially in the art of brewing. Once fermentation is complete, we're almost at the finish line. The final steps in beer production are packaging and aging. After our beer has successfully gone through the fermentation process, it's time to get it ready for consumption. This is where the magic of packaging and aging comes into play. Packaging starts with the filtration process. During filtration, any remaining solids from the brewing process are removed to ensure a clear, polished look to the beer. The beer is then carbonated. Carbonation is a crucial step as it gives beer that distinct fizzy and crisp quality we all love. The beer is either naturally carbonated in a process called bottle conditioning or artificially carbonated before it's packaged. Next, the beer is either bottled or kegged. Bottling is more common for smaller breweries or home brewers, while kegging is typically done by larger breweries. However, the choice between bottling and kegging often comes down to a brewer's preference and the specific style of beer. Once our beer is securely packaged, it's time for the aging process. Aging is an essential part of beer production, often overlooked by the casual drinker. During this time, the beer is left to rest for several weeks or even months. This allows all the flavors to meld together and develop their full depth and complexity. It's during this stage that the beer truly comes into its own, transforming from a simple mixture of water, malt, hops, and yeast into the delightful beverage we know and love. Aging also helps to smooth out any harsh flavors and aromas that might have developed during brewing, resulting in a more balanced and enjoyable drink. The length of the aging process can vary greatly, depending on the style of beer and the brewer's intention. Some beers might be ready to drink in just a few weeks, while others might require months or even years of aging to reach their peak. And there you have it, from grain to glass, the journey of your favorite beer. So next time you take a sip of your favorite beer, remember the journey it has taken. From the initial malting process, where barley is soaked, sprouted, and dried to create malt, to the mashing stage where the malt is mixed with hot water to extract the sugars, each step is a labor of love. Then comes the boiling, where hops are added for that bitter, tangy flavor we all know and love. The magic really starts during fermentation, when yeast transforms sugars into alcohol, creating the beer we enjoy. Finally, the beer is packaged and allowed to age, enhancing its flavors over time. Each stage of the beer-making process contributes to the unique taste and character of the beer in your glass. It's not just a beverage, but a testament to the art and science of brewing. Thank you for joining us on this brew-tiful journey. Now let's make this journey more exciting. I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. But don't just stop there. Extend this invitation to your and family. Encourage them to regularly visit our channel for more inspiring and captivating videos about the world of drinks and much more. Together, let's create a community passionate about the art and science of brewing. Cheers to that! And remember, every sip matters, so spread the word.